Welcome everybody, this is another edition of the Bro Force Squad. We're going to get another quick lift in on Luke Cage. We're going to do the first 4 episodes. I got my main man, Matt Geiger, here for you. And we're just going to break down the first 4 episodes. Probably going to have some spoilers, so if you haven't already seen them, you need to defriend us on Facebook, stop following us until you get that done. Lose our number, because we're not friends anymore until you see it. It's been out for like 5 days. I don't know how you guys haven't seen it yet. We're just going to jump right in here. Geiger, before we kind of break down all the good stuff for it, I just want your thoughts going into the Luke Cage series. Kind of what were your thoughts? Where was your heads at? I knew you loved Daredevil, and Jessica Jones you were kind of on the fence about. So where are you at with Luke Cage coming in?
Yeah, as a DC fan, I dig dark shit. And I've always used to pick on Marvel for not going dark enough, and they throw Daredevil season 1 and 2 at me. Jessica Jones, it didn't hit home with me. I'm not a big Jessica Jones fan, so sue me, hate me for it, whatever. People have their, kind of kicks in this world. I am a big Luke Cage fan, though, in the comics, and really him just kind of as a Avenger, Defender, whatever other club he was in. I loved him. So going into this, I had pretty high expectations. I tried to level myself out, though, because I knew that it probably wouldn't be as good as Daredevil, just because I knew a lot more stuff about the Daredevil arc than I do about Luke Cage, i.e. villains and other kind of side roles. But going into it, I thought it'd be in Harlem. I thought it would have a great cast, which it did, and we'll talk about the cast in a little bit. But my initial expectations were high, not as high as Daredevil, somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah, I was super excited for it. Daredevil obviously hit it out of the fucking park with season 1. Season 2 was kind of a roller coaster for me. Loved it, hated it, loved it, hated it, loved it. And by hated it, I mean I just didn't love it as much as the other parts that I loved. Jessica Jones, it was just a completely different style. Kind of like you said, it didn't really speak to me. I was really excited, though, when they introduced Luke Cage and kind of how they started his story in Jessica Jones. And then once the trailers for Luke Cage came out, I was fucking hooked after the first trailer. We've talked about it on past pods, but I was so excited, and I actually took Friday that it came off of work and busted some good episodes out at that point.
It should have been a national holiday. Every time a Netflix show comes out that's Marvel related, should be a national holiday. You should get that off.
Yeah, either that or like works should give you vacation days, sick days, and then new Netflix series days off. So you get to pick and choose. You get like 5 days off a year just to watch Netflix.
Well, we get Christmas off, and Christ died for all of our sins, but Stan Lee is living right now for all of our entertainment. So why don't we rejoice him and get all days off when Marvel throws Netflix onto our fucking computer? I'm all for it. I should run for president, right?
Yeah. All right. So you mentioned the cast earlier. You said you're real excited about that. Let's just dive in. I've got a few. Let's kind of do some quick fire stuff here. Let's go with Luke Cage, Mick Coulter first. What are your thoughts?
Initial thoughts going in couldn't have been higher. I did see a little bit of his stuff at Jessica Jones. I haven't watched every episode, but I've only seen the 4th episode, so this is true to our podcast, only 1 through 4. He's already doing a great story arc, how he went into Pop's dinner. He was really chill. Hey, man, I have these powers. I don't want to use them for anything. I just kind of want to get through life. I've seen so much shit. I don't really care to join a club or anything like that. I just want to mop the floors, make some drinks at night, maybe bang a detective or something like that, and then call it a day.
Auditor. We don't know.
Women lie. That's not his fault. But his arc is already very well, I think, has both feet in the ground, especially once Pops dies and it gets shot up, and you can just tell something has arisen in him. There's a demon that's just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to go after these people because I have the power to do it. And as of right now, and we'll get into this later, his arc is different from the comics that I love. I don't know if it's really different from the comic book arc where he started, but he's not doing this for money. He's not doing it for anyone, but really just revenge for his friend Pops. But Mick Coulter, perfect casting in my opinion, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he looks the part. He speaks the part. He's kind of just... If I saw him on the street, I'd be like, shit, that guy looks just like Luke Cage. And again, the way that he delivers all of his lines, it's just super believable. And he's done a fantastic job. Like you said, you know that he's seen some shit. And I think Coulter really conveys that on screen. Somebody else that I think is doing a fantastic job is Simone Missick. She plays Mercedes Misty Knight, and she's obviously the detective that Luke Cage has intimate sexual relations with in the first episode.
Consensual intimate sexual relations.
It was 99% consensual.
Yes.
There's always that one little hair where a detective's like, should I do this? But anyway, I think she's done a fantastic job as well. She's playing that. We got to get all these bad guys, and we can do it the right way, kind of going against, I don't want to say against superheroes or against vigilantes or anything, but there's a right and a wrong way to do things, and she's trying to do everything right. And again, I think Simone is really playing that character pretty true to that character's character.
I love how all of these characters are in a universe, but they're all very tightly knit to the Harlem community. She grew up playing basketball. We saw that when she was looking for Chico and everything like that. It looked like she could have played college basketball at St. John's, I think it was, and then she decided to get her law degree instead or become a detective.
I think it was opposite. I think they wanted her to play at St. John's, but she went and played at Temple or something.
Okay,
like that.
she wouldn't play college ball though.
But she played D1 ball somewhere.
Yeah, and she's really close to Pop, so she has street knowledge because she was raised there, but she's also a detective, so she knows that side of it too. I love how she plays the character, and kudos to Netflix, man. And we'll probably get to this. Well, I know we'll get to this in a second. But Netflix, 99% of their casting is fucking spot on, but they always have that one little just fucking thing that pops up that we'll probably talk about later.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the muzzle on you right there. We'll get to that one here in a minute because I'm pretty sure we're
Misty Knight, fantastic. It was awesome.
Similar boats. How do you feel about Marshala Ali playing Cottonmouth? I think he's doing a really good job. I liked him in. He was actually Boggs in the Hunger Games.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was one of Jennifer Lawrence's kind of bodyguard people. Not a huge role, but I think that he is playing this gangster just running the town or trying to run the town role. Absolutely fantastic. You can tell there's some things that shake him, but he only shows that when he's by himself. When there's people eyes on him, he plays that thug gangster. Maybe not quite as well as Fisk did in Daredevil, but definitely done a solid job.
I'll take it from here. Mick Coulter, I love you. Great job. Cottonmouth's the best fucking actor in this whole fucking thing, I think, episode 1 through 4. And this is the reason. I'm glad you brought up Fisk, D'Onofrio. D'Onofrio, I don't think, and I guess you're technically right how he's not playing it like D'Onofrio, but D'Onofrio was the king of the whole fucking pin, man. He was kingpin. And as we can see, Cottonmouth isn't running the whole fucking bingo. We had Diamondback come in. He has other people above him that could fucking slaughter him, that he has to act tough around, but at the end of the day, he knows I can't really fuck with this person because he could take out my whole fucking crew. I love how – I'll get to Black Mariah here in a second, but I love how that they're related. I love that he owns a nightclub. It's kind of like an Apollo, but instead of for comedians, it's for singers. I think that's really cool in Harlem, kind of giving it back to the Apollo, but instead doing kind of – musician type thing. But Cottonmouth, I love the Harlem connection he has with the Biggie poster. I love the hip hop in it, the music, which we'll get to later. But his character, I think, is the completion of the whole circle for me of this cast of characters. He brings the left people and the right people together. He's the best person in this whole show thus far.
Yeah, and I should have brought this up a minute ago. I like when you said, everybody has a tie to the community. Luke Cage, arguably, in fact, I'm 99% sure, and correct me if I'm wrong, he is the person that is least tied to the community.
Yeah, he's the outsider, for sure.
Yeah, he's the outsider coming in, and it's kind of interesting that he's the one trying to save the day or wanting to save the day.
Right.
Now, you mentioned Black Mariah earlier. How do you feel about Woodard's role in this, and how is she playing it?
I like her a lot. Not as well as Misty Knight, but I haven't seen her as much as Misty Knight. But whenever she's on screen, I definitely pay attention. Her and Cottonmouth's connection. If anyone knows me, I love political ties where they're like, I want to do the right thing, but I'm going to get dirty money to do it. I fucking love that. That gets my story going all the time because this is a lot of the way our fucking own government works. So having her in this and doing kind of a renaissance for Harlem or whatever she's doing, but she's having fucking thugs to do it. And she just basically kind of getting a partnership with Cottonmouth, but she actually cares about, these guns or the money getting transferred because that's her money and she's trying to run for office. She's like, I'm trying to change things, but she's a lot like a female Fisk if you really think about it. I'm trying to change things, but the way I'm doing it is so fucking illegal and wrong. But my initiatives at the end are good, so I really do like her character in this.
All right, I'm gonna take the reins off. We're just gonna let the Bronco run here. Shades. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, first off, before anyone fucking comes at me, yes, don't throw my fucking words against me. I love Sons of Anarchy. But this motherfucker isn't one of the main characters on Sons of Anarchy. Have you ever watched Charlie Hunnam or the chick from Married with Children, Katie Seagal, or Ron Perlman? Those are the 3 of Sons of Anarchy, which brings me to this show. Theo, I didn't even have time to look up his last name because I don't fucking care. His first name's Theo in real life. He sucks in this. And let me tell you, Sons of Anarchy, he wasn't that bad, but it's just because after season 3 he was a snitch, and he actually got ass fucked by Marilyn Manson in one of the episodes. Look it up. It's true. And he plays that role well. But this role, it just seems out of place, and I'm glad you Did you ever watch Sons of Anarchy?
I haven't yet. It's on the to-do list, to be honest with you. I haven't got there yet.
I'm glad you haven't, because I want to get your take on this. Because first off, I thought maybe there's something wrong with me because I just see him as Juice from Sons of Anarchy, and this is misplaced. But he's not as bad as Foggy in Daredevil. Now that's pretty fucking bad. I think I could maybe act better than Foggy in Daredevil, but he is very fucking close. And I've only seen 4 episodes in him, so he might get worse. Yeah, what's your take on him? What's your take on Shades?
My take is so Shades is supposed to be this liaison between Diamondback and Cottonmouth, and which, real quick, just put 2 and 2 together. Diamondback and Cottonmouth, they're both snakes. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything.
Yeah, in the comics, they actually have kind of like a Legion of Doom type thing. It's related to snakes. I can't remember what it's called, though.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, he's supposed to be this liaison. He's supposed to be... I feel like when you're representing somebody that is higher than the person that you're talking to, you need to be able to convey their presence. And I don't feel like he's conveying the presence of this bigger bad guy in Diamondback that he needs to. Honestly, I feel like if it came down to it, between Cottonmouth and Shades, Cottonmouth would whip the fucking shit out of it. So
yeah.
What's the he's just this little dude that's there. He's not. I feel like he's shorter, just physically he's shorter. He's smaller. He's not as big. I don't think that really matters because you always have that guy that's going to report to the bigger guy, so you know you're untouchable. And I don't think he really conveys the fact that, hey, I'm untouchable, like he should. Well,
therein lies the problem, too, I think, is when I was in about episode 2 or 3, I keep asking myself, why the fuck is Shades here and what is he doing? And then I think to myself, oh, man, I'm not paying good enough attention. They're trying to tell me something. But then after about episode 4, I realized, no, he just fucking sucks at acting, and that's why I'm not paying attention whenever he's on screen. That's why I don't really know what his character is really there for. Now, he might talk about another character that, he might pull a fucking Yui on me, and I might love his character in a second, like, another detective in this show, but he's fucking terrible.
Yeah, and again, I think this is a good time to just let our listeners know that we're only judging the show on the first 4 episodes. We're not judging it on everything. So if you're coming in listening to this and you've seen 5 through the end, remember we're not talking about 5 through the end.
Yeah.
So hopefully things improve with Shades or something drastic comes. You mentioned Scarf. His character, again, I wasn't a big fan of him, and then all of a sudden he started to turn here at the end of episode 4 after, he talks with Chico.
Well, and we agreed that we would just we'd cut it in sections, and 1 through 4 is the first watch. And I think it would be cool if we, in 2 days, I think we're going to do another one, is I look back, I'm like, wow, I'm a complete fucking idiot, because Shades turned around, and he was a really cool character, and he did that on purpose. But as of right now, he sucks. He's the worst fucking character in the whole goddamn show. So, truth hurts sometimes.
All right, so I think we got everything we needed out on that. We're about halfway through some of our reps here. I want to get into a couple of things because we've talked about it before in past pods, kind of connections and Easter eggs that the Netflix series and the greater MCU have. Just a few quick ones that I noticed. Obviously, it's a pretty big one. In the first episode, Hammer Industries, the guns, that's what kind of sparks the whole thing, which is a direct connection to Iron Man 2, which is kind of funny because arguably the worst movie out of the entire MCU. Obviously, there's a lot of Jessica Jones and Daredevil references. Those ones are a little bit more out there. A couple ones that are not everybody's going to know about. Seagate Prison, which is where Luke Cage was held. Currently is holding Justin Hammer and Trevor Slattery, or AKA as Hornacek likes to call him, Fake Mandarin. They're being held at Seagate Prison. They made a reference to it, something about we hide millionaires in the basement, to that.
Banner, to touch on that, I totally forgot to bring this up on our pre-show, but dude, how awesome is it that episode 4 or 5, whenever the story's about to get going, Marvel on Netflix is just like, you know what, fuck it, let's just give an origin episode, which is what they did on episode 4, which the D'Onofrio Kingpin one is still the best fucking one I've ever seen, but this one is a close second with the episode 4 in Seagate, and you actually see how Luke Cage finally develops and everything. That was so fucking badass. I love it. It was
perfectly
awesome.
timed too.
Yes, they never do it on episode 1. They do it like somewhere in the middle of the season. It's fucking awesome.
3 episodes, you get invested, and you're like, all right, I'll buy in. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't have anything to do with the story. Oh shit, it has everything to do with the story.
And fuck everyone for thinking I'm bitter, because I am fucking bitter. Because if you look up in the dictionary, it's a picture of me. If it says bitter, it's a picture of me with a DC shirt holding up a DVD of Suicide Squad and Batman and Robin. Because somewhere in Warner Brothers, there's 4 fucking pencil pushing dicks that are like, maybe we should do a Harley Quinn spinoff. Maybe we should do a Suicide Squad 2 since it went over so well. And then across the street at Marvel Studios, they're saying, maybe we should do an origin fucking thing for episode 5. I'm like, you're so much far ahead of us, and it pisses me the fuck off. But I do love watching it, and it's fucking fantastic. And I totally kind of forgot about it in Daredevil until I watched episode 4. I'm like, my God, they're doing a fucking other Origins. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. I'm really pumped. But yeah, go ahead with the Easter eggs. I had to get that in there. That was awesome.
No, that's fantastic. That's why we do this, and I'd love. Obviously, our listeners can't see the face that you're making right now is like half joy, half anger.
Yeah.
You're so excited, you love it, but yet you can still see the anger in your eyes.
It's you know, I'm from Missouri. I'm a big Cardinals fan, and when the Royals won the World Series, I was like really pumped for them. Like, oh, they're going to make the playoffs. But then once they won the World Series, I'm like, well, they're not supposed to be better than us. That's how I'm like as a DC fan. I'm like, God, Marvel's doing some cool shit. I'm like, wait, we suck at making movies, and they're making cool shit on Netflix. Why? Why are we making shit on the CW and they're making shit on Netflix? I haven't watched one goddamn CW thing on DC, which is my baby, and I'm fucking, once Luke Cage comes out at midnight, I gotta tell my wife to like, hey, we can't have sex right now. Luke Cage is fucking streaming. Pisses me off. It's bullshit.
The last connection I want to talk about a little bit here is we've got the guy on the street who's selling videos of the incident. Obviously, he's talking about the attack on New York by the Chitauri and the Avengers. And he just says, hey, the old guy with the shield, the blonde dude with the hammer, and the big green monster, and I'm not talking about Fenway. Obviously, again, pretty obvious nod to the Avengers. Now, why they're not talking about any of the other events that have happened after the Avengers, I'm not sure. But, again, hopefully that'll kind of come out later on in the season.
We still really don't know where this is taking place in time, do we? I mean, they could very obviously do this before maybe Civil War if they wanted to tie into a story somehow, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have Daredevil Season 1, Daredevil Season 2, Jessica Jones, and then now Luke Cage. As far as the Netflix series, those are all going in succession. We know it's sometime after the Avengers, obviously. I'm thinking it has to be somewhere. Yeah, I don't know, to be honest with you.
I mean, Marvel's pretty straightforward because if they weren't, it would get really confusing because they got TV shows all over the place and movies coming out every 6 months. But
here's the thing, though. It could be after even Age of Ultron, though, because, again, the Netflix series is, as a quote from you, they're worried about what's going on in their neighborhood, not what's going on in the world. The only reason that they would reference the attacks in New York City is because that was in New York City. They don't give a shit about what happened in Sokovia or what's going on in Civil War because none of that happened in New York City, and that's kind of the attitude of these characters and of the show. So for all I know, it is happening in sequence with the movie.
I think it's happening in sequence because it would be really confusing to like do what DC is doing with the Batman, I think, and happen before Batman Superman. That's just really fucking confusing. But
yeah.
2 Easter eggs I want to touch on is just when he punches the wall in Seagate and says "Sweet Christmas." That was fucking badass. And to call back
so much more.
Yes.
Christmas, it's not even funny.
And to call back to the comics, whenever he had the metal kind of bandana and he's walking around and he gets those clothes off the hanger and it's like Luke Cage in the 70s.
Yellow shirt.
And I love it because all some nerds is like, it's not true with the comics because he doesn't have a yellow shirt on. And so he has the yellow shirt on and he's just like, this looks fucking stupid. And then, okay, you got the yellow shirt for 2 seconds, but it kind of looks stupid. It's 70s, so get the fuck out of here. Yeah, Disco's dead, and so's that. So get over it. He's gonna just look buff in a t-shirt and jeans.
All right, so let's get into a couple of these episodes now. I just got a couple thoughts that I've got on each episode. First, I like how this kind of has the gangster movie feel. It's similar to how Ant-Man had that heist movie feel. This is a gangster. It has a gangster movie feel, which is awesome. They've done a really good job with that. I really enjoy that, and I got that from episode 1. That's on my episode 1 notes.
It feels like Get Rich or Die Trying, that 50 Cent movie, but it's comic book related, which I love that movie. So that's what it feels like, especially the music in it.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me. It's awesome. I love it. It's way different than Daredevil, but still it's the same tone, but it's just way different.
It's different, yeah.
Same thing, and it's great.
It's really hard to explain because it's the same but different.
Yeah, I think
the only way you can explain it.
Well, one, it happens in Harlem. I think a big thing in it just and it's not being PC, but Daredevil kind of happens in kind of a white world, and this one kind of happens in a more African American world, which I think is fantastic because I did pat DC on the back a couple podcasts ago for making a Wonder Woman movie to bring women into these comic book movies. I mean, Hunger Games is making bank. Why not have the biggest woman superhero ever have a movie? Now, the only thing that DC hasn't done, I don't think, that well, but Marvel is starting to with Black Panther and a whole Marvel Netflix series devoted to the African-American culture, is to get African-Americans in here, on the Marvel bandwagon. It's like, dude, I dig this shit. This speaks to me. That's the thing, with Jessica Jones, it didn't speak to me. I'm not a girl. I like more the manly, buff dude that is kicking ass. That speaks to me. But if something else speaks to someone else, fucking get everyone involved on this. The more the merrier on this fucking superhero train, man. I love it.
100%. So I've got one other thing that I really want to talk about right now is, so as I went through after I watched each episode, I just wrote a couple of quick notes down about each episode. That way I could remember, because there's so much going on with these shows. A couple of things that I wanted to share with everybody. One of my notes for episode 2, is there anything more gangster than throwing someone off a roof of your own nightclub, then turning to your boy and going, hey, call the morgue, tell them they need to take care of this, like it's no big deal and it happens every day. Then my next note, my only note for episode 3 is more gangster blowing up a fucking building in the middle of Harlem with a fucking rocket launcher.
With a goddamn rocket launcher.
Like a boss. It's perfect.
That's what I said. Cottonmouth's the best fucking person on this show so far. My thing is, whenever Luke Cage, and I love working out, man, and I have like 10 go-to songs whenever I fucking am maxing out or something. Luke Cage's go-to song is apparently fucking Wu-Tang Clan. Whenever he throws those Beats by Dre fucking in and cranks up Wu-Tang Clan, he's like, I'm gonna go kill everyone in here, but I need the right fucking song to do it. I need to get the right mindset. He takes off that car door. Still, you have to compare them though, but not as good as the Daredevil fight scene from season 1. But it's very fucking close. It's very goddamn close. Now, the Daredevil fight scene in season 1 was so cool with the breathing and everything, because it was like he was doing CrossFit or something. It's like, dude, I just kicked the shit out of 20 guys. So.
Are you talking about season 1 or are you talking about season 2 when he's in the elevator or in the stairwell?
Not the season 1 is in the not season 2 in the stairwell where he has his cord. I'm talking about season 1 where I think he's trying to free those kids from sex trafficking.
Oh, yeah, well. That one's good, but that scene in the stairwell of Daredevil season 2, when the Punisher's knocked out in the elevator and he's fighting the Hell's Angels coming down, That is so well done.
That one was very well done. The season 1 one I just liked is because it was all in one fucking shot, which is very hard to direct.
Yeah.
And I just liked it because his breathing and stuff was like, you never saw that from a superhero where he's like, I'm physically fucking tired. I can barely lift my arms, but there's 10 other guys I got to beat up. You're right, though. I probably need to go watch them both one after another and really decide, because both of them were very fucking well done. And that's the thing, but Luke Cage's was very fucking well done, too. And all those together, can you pick a winner? Who cares? Because we all win, because we all get to fucking watch them on Netflix.
And this may be out there, and if it is, will you guys tweet it at us? Because I want to see this. If you have those 3 fight scenes in one YouTube video and you can watch it back to back to back, that would be fucking awesome.
That'll be on Facebook tomorrow if someone can fucking tweet that on us. I'll put it on our Facebook.
And we will thank you, and we will shout out to you on the next 3 podcasts.
Yeah. That would be fucking awesome to see all this.
All right, Geiger, this is our favorite part of the pod. This is when we go and we don't just talk shit on things, which we haven't done a whole lot of, but what would you do differently, or what is there something in particular that you weren't a big fan of in these first 4 episodes of Luke Cage?
The only thing I wasn't a fan of, once again, I've only seen the first 4 episodes. I don't know if they're going to make it season 2. I don't know if this is going to happen this episode. I don't know if they're waiting for it to Defenders. But the only reason I ever read Luke Cage comics out of the plethora of comics that I had at my dad's grocery store is because he was the only guy at first that was just kind of a fucking gun for hire. He's like, I don't really care what's right or wrong. If you knock on my door, I'll open it, and if you have coin, I'll fucking kill whoever you want to be killed. I fucking love that. That was cool. That was kind of like a Wild Wild West thing to me, with the desperado that's like, yeah, man, give me money, I'll fucking shoot whoever I want. I'm just a gun for hire. They might go to that. Hopefully someone close to him dies. Pop's already died, and he still hasn't turned to that. That's the only thing I would change, because the way his character is kind of rising up and we're seeing more about his character, he's getting farther and farther away from that, which sucks. I don't know why they're trying to make him such a hero. I guess Daredevil kind of was a hero and a vigilante, but that's the only thing I would change. I want the gun for hire, pay for play, Luke Cage.
Yeah, I don't know if they're doing that to try and reinforce kind of the Defenders thing. I'm not really sure, but I agree that's a big part of him, and I don't know. We'll kind of see where they go with it. And again, we've only seen 4 episodes. Maybe that's something that'll come in later on in the series. Really, one thing that I am super confused about, and I don't know, maybe you guys can fill me in on this, is it was a big deal because we were going to have a crossover character from Civil War to this, which is that's Black Mariah's character, Alfred Woodard, who she played in Civil War. She was
because her kid died.
Yes, her kid died. So that's not the same character. It's the same actress, but it's not the same character.
She hasn't touched on her kid dying at all. And if she fakes that, then I'm gonna cry fucking foul, because that's what Batman vs Superman did. So
yeah, I don't. Well, and I was looking, and I was just trying to double check this real quick on IMDb. She has a different character name on IMDb from Civil War to this. Is it that hard to find another good actress, or did she just do that well in Civil War in her 30 seconds on screen?
It's the same character, I believe. I know. I talked to Jeff Hornacek about this, and he's not dead or sick or anything. He's just on a date with his girlfriend, but he knows a lot about Marvel. Him and Banner know more than I do, but it is the exact same character. It's just weird that she's playing a completely different side of her character, and we haven't been given a reason why yet. And that's another thing to touch on. I love doing this episode 1 through 4 because I'm not afraid of looking stupid and saying that, after 8 we'll be like, oh man, that was a total stupid comment that we did in this. That's fine. That's why shows are so fucking great. If we ever did this on Game of Thrones, we'd look like fucking retards. Like, I love that guy. And then he's like, oh, he sucks now. So I'm not sure, but I know it is the same character that she played in Civil War that it is in this, but she is kind of mourning over her son, and in this one, all she cares about is building a better Harlem in her own kind of accord, which is kind of weird.
Right, and I just got here on IMDb, we've got Mariah Dillard in Luke Cage, and then it's Mareem in Civil War. So it's even a different persona And that's on IMDb.
Which the only thing I could have said is, I mean, she's not a Spider-Man character, kind of like Reva was, and I was like, maybe they changed her name because of that, but that wouldn't even be because Spider-Man was in Civil War, so
yeah,
kind of like Reva.
Either way, that's one thing that I didn't really like, and it's just mainly because I'm just super confused about it. Even being the Marvel fan that I am, it's confusing. Last thoughts, Geiger. Let's go off. What do you want to see moving on in this series?
I would like to see a little bit more of his origin, because I'm still confused on why Shades doesn't know who the fuck he is, even though he's in prison with him. That's one thing that kind of bothers me. Maybe there's a reason to it. Hopefully I'll see that. And Marvel needs the balls up, okay? I love how everyone's like, it connects. Then fucking connect it. Don't talk about connecting it. Fucking connect it. I want Misty to lose her arm, and I want to see Downey Jr. in a fucking episode. Connect it. Don't just talk about it all the time. I want to see Justin Hammer in an origin story where they share a cell. Something of that needs to fucking happen. Don't just talk about it all the time.
So you're saying you want them to show you and not tell you?
Yes. That's my whole fucking meaning of life. I should have that tattooed across my back. Show me, don't ever fucking tell me. And Marvel does this a lot, and it's cool. I fucking get it. Everything connects. It's fucking cool. But all they do is talk about it 95% of the time, 99% of the time. Show me. Bring fucking even Chris Evans, dumbass. Bring him in here for a fucking episode. But do something where it actually connects. Do you think the comics would have been as cool if Batman just talked about Superman for like fucking 4 issues? I'm like, can we see Clark's fucking dorky ass actually in one of these? I'm sick of him talking about him. Bring him in an episode. Or her. I don't care. Bring Scarlet Witch. It doesn't matter to me. Just bring someone in. That's what I want to see.
All right. Well, what I want to see in the next, we're going to say 4 episodes, because that's the next time you're going to talk to us. I want to see more Luke Cage just fucking people up. We saw a little bit of it in the scene when he went into Christmas Attics, and I want to see that on steroids, just him going in and just people lighting him up with Uzis and him just doing what he does. I also want to see who the fuck Diamondback is, because we don't know. We just know that he's this higher power. He's running the show and he's above Cottonmouth. I want to see who he is, and I want to see Shades. I don't know.
Die.
Yeah. And the last thing that I really want is way more Luke Cage saying "Sweet Christmas."
Yep.
That's something that we saw once in Jessica Jones. We've now seen it once in the first 4 episodes. I want to see it way more, because that's him, that's his trademark, and that would be fucking awesome.
Like before he climaxes inside of Misty, I want him to say "Sweet Christmas."
Yeah.
That'd be like the best one.
Just like he did with when him and Jessica Jones were done having sex. He lays down, he's like, "Sweet Christmas." That was classic Luke Cage. It was perfect.
How many times were you going to say that during our Christmas Eve party when we were just taking shots? Probably after every shot, at least.
I don't have enough fingers and toes, even when I'm drunk and sing double, because that's going to give me 50, and I don't have enough. I don't have enough to count that high.
Join Bro Force Squad's Sweet Christmas 2016 party. Fucking awesome.
All right, Geiger. Last thoughts? Anything else you want to get off your chest? Let's get these last reps in real quick.
Oh, man. I have nothing else to say because I'm really pumped to watch episode 5. I'm going to do it right after we get off here, actually. And this is a fantastic show. And the only thing is, and I know that a couple people on this pod are a couple episodes in front of us, and they've kind of hinted at me that this next episode is going to be the episode where you're going to fucking lose sleep and call into work because you're like, I have to fucking finish this thing. And Daredevil did that. It took a while, though. Both Daredevils, it took a while for that to happen. It took about through episode 5 or 6, and Luke Cage is about to hit, I believe, tonight whenever I watch episode 5 and 6. I'm really excited.
All right, Geiger, I'm not going to keep you any longer. We're going to get out of here. We're going to go watch episodes 5 through 8. We'll get back at you guys in a few days after we're past that. Everybody have a great night. And we'll talk to you next time. This is the Bro Force Squad with another quick lift. Follow us on Twitter at Bro Force Squad. We're on Facebook, Bro Force Squad, YouTube. We got our website, www.broforcesquad.com. Pretty much, if you have the internet and you can't find us, you're 80 years old and you're